Okay, good morning. My name is Nur Hadi, a lecturer in the Animation Study Program at the Indonesian Institute of the Arts Yogyakarta. I will be presenting the writing team, which consists of Mr. Samuel Gandang from ISI Yogyakarta, Ajeng Tita Negoro from Telkom University Purwokerto, and Syaiful Anwar and Ginanjar from ISI Yogyakarta. Today, I will present our work on designing the tabletop trading card game Kesah Son of Ranying Hatala Langit as a medium for preserving Dayak Ngaju folklore from Central Kalimantan. This presentation summarizes our background, objective, method, design concepts, and output. Okay, next, background. Dayak Ngaju cultural heritage contain rich values, heroism, spirituality, and identity embedded in traditional narrative and symbol. However, modernization and changing media consumption pattern make it increasingly difficult for younger generation to stay connected with these stories. Conventional learning media, such as book and academic texts, often feel less engaging to teenagers. This motivates us to explore an interactive cultural medium, especially a physical game format. Next, problem and opportunity. The core problem is a declining interest among youth in Dayak Ngaju folklore, driven by lifestyle shift forward contemporary pop cultural format. At the same time, there is a clear opportunity. Trading card games are widely recognized as a strong youth-oriented medium because they combine collection, strategy, competition, and community. We believe that TCG can support cultural preservation by embedding narrative and values into game interaction, not only into text. Next, objective and design output. Our objective is to design an interactive tabletop TCG titled Kesah Son of Ranying Hatala Langit as a preservation innovation for the Ngaju folklore. In terms of design output, we develop a starter pack concept include the card deck, rule book, and playmat, supported by promotional media such as motion graphic and related merchandise element. Next, contribution or novelty. The novelty of this work lies in translating the Ngaju folklore and belief system into structured game mechanism. Players are not only reading cultural narrative, but participating in the through strategic decision. Another contribution is positioning a physical TCG rather than purely digital media as an accessible cultural education channel that feel engaging and competitive instead didactic. Okay, next, methodology, practice-based, and iterative. Our approach is practice-based research using interactive design. We move through cycle of prototyping, playtesting, and refinement. Data collection support this cycle through literature review, observation, consumer journey, analysis, and design workshop, followed by prototype development and repeated playtest. This ensure that the final design is both culturally grounded and playable. Okay, next. 5W plus 1H framework summary. To clarify the design direction, we use 5W plus 1H framing. What? Cultural preservation TCG. Why? Youth engagement with folklore is declining, and conventional media are less effective. Woo! Teenagers and young adults around age 13 to 25, were rooted in central Kalimantan cultural text, with outrage through communities and online space. When developed across interactive paths from research to finalization. How? By integrating narrative and cultural element into card, rules, and strategic gameplay. Validate through repeating testing. Okay, next. Media design concept. High fantasy cross culture. The design concept blend Dayak Ngaju cultural element, costume, ornament, weapon, and mythology with high fantasy approach. This is a deliberate choice. High fantasy improve accessibility and appeal for young audience, while still allowing cultural specificity. On this slide, we show an example card figure illustrating how cultural motifs are translated into visual and functional card component. Next, folklore and cosmology adaptation. In terms of narrative adaptation, we draw from Tetek Tatum as a heroic epic and Batanggaring as a fundamental cosmological symbol. The game world is structured around two major factions, humanoid and beast or spirit, to represent different narrative forces in the mythic ecosystem. Cultural objects or environment, such as Kamantahu, are mapped into spell or field card, giving them explicit gameplay function instead of being only decorative. Next slide. Character visualization and game asset. For visual development, we apply digital painting with a semi-realistic cartoon style. This style is selected to match teenage market expectation, while still allowing detailed cultural representation. We empathize authenticity through costume detail, beadwork pattern, and traditional weapon like mandau and lunju. We also use consistent iconography, natur, fighter, lurer, and shaman to communicate mechanics clearly and support accessibility for new player. Next, final product and supporting media. On this slide, we summarize the final product component, the card deck, rulebook, playmat, and packaging direction. We also include supporting media such as promotional motion graphic and merchandise concepting. These elements are important because cultural preservation media must also be communicative and distributable, especially if the goal is to reach young communities. Next, conclusion and next step. In conclusion, the Kesah Tisigi offer an alternative medium for preserving Dayak Ngaju folklore through interactive, competitive, and story-driven engagement. It communicates heroic value and cultural belief system in a way that feel modern and participatory rather than purely instructional. For next step, we purpose expanding playtesting across more diverse communities, uh, refining gameplay balance and clarity, and developing practical distribution strategies through school, communities, and cultural event. Okay, well, that's the presentation I can deliver for now. If you have any input, I'd be happy to respond. I apologize if there are any wrong words, and thank you for your attention. See you at the next Crafta seminar event, and good morning. Goodbye.